Karibuni. You can take your seats. Thank you, honorable members. I think we had invited 4 trustees. I can see 2. I don't know whether they are the so-called trustees or maybe they came for other business. Are you among the 4 trustees that we had invited? Dr. Joel Chelule, Ms. Lois Jelimo, Dr. Susan Kosgei Keino, and Dr. David Kisio? The 2 who are in the press seat of the assembly are who and who? Okay. Thank you. I think, honorable members, because there were 4, I think they meet a quorum of us moving on so that we can get to know whether others had given apology or so, or whether they are on the way. Therefore, feel welcome, the 2. This is a committee, the ad hoc committee, investigating issues that were raised to this assembly on petition over the Finland Scholarship Program through the Uasin Gishu County Government. And you had been invited to this committee last week when? On 17th, but you requested via email to appear today. Thank you. Honorable members, allow us to start today's meeting with a word of prayer, and then others will follow thereafter.
Chair, before you start with a word of prayer, I've heard you saying there are supposed to be 4 and the 2 are present here.
Yes.
Are they in a position to transact the business of the day because they are not in hall present?
Thank you. Do we have, Secretary, do we have, first of all, before I go back to them, do we have an apology written up or not yet? Kindly, can you answer that? Are you in a position to transact what we invited you for before I read the letter?
Yes, we are.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Minus the rest, the 2.
Yes.
Thank you.
So the 2 will be joining us, or they're absolutely absent?
We are sure of...
Give them the proper mic, kindly. That mic is not properly functioning because...
As of now, we are sure of 1 not joining us, and that is Dr. Susan Keina.
Okay.
She's out of the country.
Okay.
And she has given her apology and asked us to represent her.
Okay.
We also have Mrs. Lois Chelimo Moray, or Cheriot. We have not gotten her communication.
Okay.
But we know she is the director, Teacher Service Commission, in charge of Vihiga County.
Okay.
And we know the kind of program that they are going through now.
Okay.
Most likely she is held up, but she has not communicated to us. So that is the position.
Have you tried reaching her?
Yes, I tried calling yesterday night. I texted her. No response so far.
Members, let us go by the first message that they are capable of transacting today's business. If that is so, kindly let us, I call this meeting to order, and shall we pray? Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of the society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servant, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matter that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner, as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity and welfare of our county, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. And we all say, our visitors, this is what we call bunge, and today we have converted it to be a committee room. And some housekeeping is that maybe when you want to go out, the people seated at the left, just at the left, you'll see a lady and a woman. We call them surgeon at a time. You can ask them anything where you want to maybe to go for maybe some health break. They'll guide you. And two, when you are using that mic, if you choose to use the mic in front of you, there is a knob where you are supposed to switch on, and after you use it, you can switch it off. And two, you can address members as honorable members, and you address them through the chair. And three, maybe when you want to go out, you can just bow toward the chair, just as a sign of respect, so that we can transact today's business with the shortest time possible. If it will take the whole day, okay. But if you can use the shortest time, the better, because I know you are busy with other works outside there, and you have been called here to just shed light on matters that has been brought to the County Assembly of Uasin Gishu, then committed to this ABO ad hoc committee to investigate what happened, what is going on, as trustees in the program, what we are calling Finland Scholarship Program through Uasin Gishu County Government. Therefore, feel free to be welcomed and be ready to shed light where you can, and where you don't have information, just let it be captured. So, honorable members, I would like us to introduce ourselves so that our visitors can get to know us. I know you will ask them question at a point, and by you giving your name, they will know whom they are addressing. Can we start from the far end? Honorable Keitani, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. I'm David Piwot Keitani, representing Sergoit's Ward and committee member.
Thank you.
Morning. I'm Honorable Samoy Isaac, member representing Caps House Ward and a member of this committee.
Chairman of the committee, the visitors, my name is Julia Sang, MCA Megun Ward, a member of this committee.
And I am Jonathan Ngetich, member of the committee, MCA Kaptagan.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning to you.
My name is Mary Goretti Boroswa, MCA Kipsomba Ward, also a member to this committee. Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Morning to
I'm
you.
Honorable Thomas Yego, MCA representing Tarakwa, member to this committee. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning to you.
I'm Honorable Kapke Evans, member for Tembelia Ward and member to this committee. Thank you.
Morning.
Morning to you.
I'm Honorable Patrick Kimayo, MCA Moyes Bridge and a friend to this committee.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Moses Kebenei, MCA Simat Kapsaret, and also member to this committee.
Thank you. We'll be joined by other honorable members in the process, and we are going to introduce them as they come. The Secretariat, can we introduce ourselves, please?
I am Richard Diego, the Deputy Clerk and standing in for the Clerk.
Thank you.
Sharon Kwamba, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you.
I'm Elias Koech, Research.
Thank you. This is the research man. Thank you. Karibu.
I'm Kelvin Mibanda, Committee Clerk.
My name is Michelle Saina, I'm the Legal Counsel.
I'm Victor Brigan, Committee Clerk.
Thank you. My names are Honorable Francis Muya Mwangi, the Deputy Chair to this ad hoc committee. Our chair today will be joining us shortly. And I represent a ward by the name Langas, and still double up as a leader of minority in the County Assembly of Wasingishu, and feel most welcomed. And my request is that from introduction to the end, just speak what is the truth, so that we can try to better our county. Because once you hear that there are people who came together and came up with a petition to the county assembly, meaning that there is a lot we need to do as a leadership in order to make our county great and better than we found it. I want to take this opportunity to give you time so that you can introduce yourself. Now officially, we were just doing the housekeeping to know who are you. Now can you introduce yourself? Thank you.
Thank you so much, honorable members. My names are Dr. Joel Cheruyot Chelule. I'm a senior lecturer at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology and the campus director, Eldoret campus. I'm also the chairman, County Education Revolving Fund, and one of the trustees. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I am Dr. David Kesio, a senior lecturer at Moi University and also in charge of outreach and extension in the same institution. I am a member of Wasingishu County Education Revolving Fund, representing technical and higher education institutions within the board. So, and for this purpose, I have been a trustee. According to the record, let me say according to the record, I've been a trustee which will come into the limelight. And I also wish to say, Chair, to the members, that it is this trustee is not Finland trustee, but it is an overseas, it's called overseas program, education program, but not specifically Finland, because there is Canada and Finland, so it is overseas. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for that correction, but a good one is that in record he is a trustee. We are going to ventilate further and get to know why. Honorable members, we have been joined when you can see.
Sorry, just one thing, honorable members. I think it's also good to indicate that we did a formal request for removal of our names from the list of trustees, and we have that communication. So actually, as we speak, I think we can call ourselves
Please
former.
don't preempt. We are coming there, but it is good information. When you are introducing yourself, you are joined by one honorable member who is a member. Kindly, can you introduce yourself, Honorable Amos? We would like to capture you. Kindly be on the mic.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Amos Kiptanui, representing Rescourse Ward and a member to this committee.
Feel welcomed. Honorable members, allow me to go through the letter that we invited them so that we can engage them from there. This is a letter that was dated 19th January 2023, and we invited them through the County Secretary, County Government of Wasingishu, Box 40. Dear Sir, reference Finland Scholarship Program through Wasingishu County Government, and it has been corrected. It should be a scholarship, overseas scholarship program, because it's not only Finland. The above subject matter refers the County Assembly by resolution constituted an ad hoc committee to investigate the above subject matter. In this regard, the committee invites the 4 trustees of the Wasingishu Education Overseas Trustee account to its meeting at the County Assembly premises scheduled on Monday, 23rd January 2023 from 9 a.m. The invitee were Dr. Joel Chelule Cheruyot, who is present, to Ms. Lois Jelimo Cheruyot, whom we have been told have not communicated. Is that the case? 3, Dr. Susan Jepkosgei Keino, whose apology we have been given and taken. And 4, Dr. David Kisio, who is with us here. Please come with any documentary evidence, and you are faithfully, our clerk appended his signature, and copies were sent to each one of them. Before we start, can I ask, did you receive the invite?
No.
You haven't?
We haven't.
But I think because you requested today's meeting via your email, that's why you have arrived?
Correct.
So honorable members get to know that they have not received their invite, and therefore on Wednesday, because we write all letters through the county secretary, that is an issue we'd like to prosecute further, because the county assembly will never shy inviting anybody here to shed light, and we do so through the county secretary, and therefore the county leadership should know and capture that going forward, would like to know when we write letter through the county secretary, we should also do the same directly to members via their emails or whatever, so that we avoid that issue that somebody have not received a letter. Is that taken? Our invitees today, we were in receipt of your response via email. That was on 18th January, the day you were supposed to have appeared here together with the other 3 trustees. And we agreed that we invite you today, and that's why you are here. Basically, we are here because, as you all well know, that through the former government of Wasingishu, the leadership, and the former governor, the county government, in quotes, saw it fit or wise to start the so-called overseas scholarship program through Wasingishu County government. And as the trustees of the revolving funds, you are taken to be the first people to be added, others to be the trustees in this program. So kindly, before we ask a set of questions, as the chair of this committee, can you shed some light the decision that was reached to take the trustees of the revolving fund, the Wasingishu revolving fund program, into this separate and different account of the overseas scholarship program? How was it mooted? And was there any meeting toward the same? Were there any minutes that you can share with this committee that this is the meeting we were called and it was decided that we joined the trustee group of this new program? And from there, what happened, as you are stating, so that we can, you started by saying that there was a letter that you wrote at some point. Can you shed some light, because we know that you are trustees. As per now, we know that you are the trustees to this good program carried out by the Wasingishu County government. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It is true that there exists a trust by the name Uasin Gishu County Education Trust that is in charge of all these overseas programs. And the four of us, first of all, we belong to the County Education Revolving Fund, where I'm personally the chairman, and Dr. Kesho, Dr. Susan Keino, and Lois Shelima Murray are members.
So that we don't come back to it. What, because we have new members in this honorable house, what do you mean by revolving fund program?
There is a revolving fund that has been in charge of, there's a revolving fund that is established by an act of the County Assembly of Uasin Gishu, and the revolving fund is mandated to run the training, the identification of skills gap in our county, identifying the qualified candidates from our county and sponsoring them in terms of giving loans, which thereafter they pay back so that it continues to be beneficial to others. That is why it's called a revolving fund. And it has been there since 2014. So we've been members to this revolving fund. And I want to, for avoidance of doubt, I want to separate the two, that these are two different entities. The revolving fund and the trust are distinctly two separate entities. The reason why we were requested to be the trustees in the trust, which is just an year old, was actually because of our experience in the revolving fund. So, and not all of us were picked from the revolving fund, because in the revolving fund we are we are more than four. So only the four of us were co-opted into the trust, and they were co-opted. We were co-opted later, not
at the beginning.
Not at the beginning.
Continue.
Correct.
Chair, point of order. Maybe through the chair, kindly clarify, when you say letter, are you in a position to give the exact date, year, or month? We know it's letter, but
it
probably
can be of help to this committee. Thank you, member.
We may not exactly say the date, but what we know, this information became this information.
Daktari,
yes,
you are a very useful member in this country.
Yes,
and learned. For you to be co-opted, I thought that there was a letter to co-opt you. Among many, 4 were co-opted, meaning that somebody ought to have written letter that you have been co-opted from here to here. To give. Was there any letter to such?
There was no letter.
Thank you. Continue.
And I would wish, Chairman, that the documentation that's in our possession,
yes,
could actually be photocopied so that we keep referring to this.
Thank you, Sergeant Atam and the Secretary. Can you help us so that you can have enough copies? Thank you very much, Doctor.
It will help us to shed more light in a manner that each and every member will get to know.
Keenly follow.
Correct.
Thank you.
And Chair,
we also have minutes which I want to table.
Yes, anything as the letter stated, any documentary evidence.
And
Thank you.
We also have this, the way we distributed our letters.
Thank you. Please, the secretary have copies of the same, please. And don't attach them together. Attach them separately.
Chair, I have also maybe clarification.
Yes, Honorable Amos, through the chair.
From the member. You say that the mode of engagement or being co-opted to that trustee overseas fund, was it verbal? You say there is no letter. What was the mode of communication? Were you communicated to verbally and it ended like that? And if after being co-opted, either through a formal letter or verbal, what was the terms of reference? What was your role? What will be your role in this fund?
Taken.
Thank you so much, Chair. Actually, the question is part of the reason why we later on requested that our names be removed, because that option was not clear. And we've documented it very well in our communication. One of the reasons that we were pulling our names out is that we were not issued with any appointment letter. More than 1 year down the line, there was no inauguration, there was no induction, there was no meeting. So save for a verbal request that we join the trust and we help the trust, there's nothing written.
Through the chair.
Through the chair, I would kindly request.
I
say
hope,
you are Mr.
I hope,
Doctor?
Honorable Amos or Honorable Member, we are doing this because we are waiting for the document that will be, and such a time we want those documents, but nevertheless, because we are gaining momentum. I want to give it to you so that you ask what you want to ask, and then Honorable Mary Goretti, while had you joined us when yes, you introduce yourself. Thank you, Honorable Amos.
Dr. Choil Chelule, you're the one. It will be very important if maybe later on be able to share us maybe the probable time that you are formally co-opted, and the reason is that we really want to know whether you had a role in some of the things that took place during that period. So maybe later on at the close of the session, if you can case that it was between this time and this time that we were engaged. And when you say there was no meeting, are you saying that in all this process, you were never invited to any meeting to deliberate on the agenda of overseas issues?
Thank you. A good question. I don't want you to answer, because if other questions are going to answer might stop us from going further. So I'm the one who is going to direct what to be answered, because we have a lot to ask. They are trustees. Honorable Goretti.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Maybe I also ask the chair to the trustees, to the board, to tell us who was the source of that corruption? Who co-opted you to be trustees? Maybe it will be prudent for you to tell this committee the
word of mouth was from who?
Yes. Thank you.
Honorable Isaac. I
Yeah,
hope it's on the same.
Okay. Not necessarily. I'm not ready for the question because I have several.
Yes,
as a,
I have
matter
not
of
opened, Honorable
as a
Member.
matter of procedure, Honorable Chair.
Yes.
They are here today. They have not presented why they are here. We wanted to give them room of 5 to 10 minutes. They exhaust what they wanted in terms of the concept, the idea, the movement, how far they have gone. When they are done, give us some questions to ask them. It is not in order for us to ask questions, yet they have not presented their position.
And that's why you had me starting with the word. I am the one who is going to let them answer because I knew whatever you're asking is what they are supposed to do. You are very right. Therefore, honorable members, let them take us through how they were engaged with the word of mouth. They give us all the information because they have, they are willing to share with us, and that's why they came. Therefore, kindly, if we all agree, I don't know how far the Secretariat have gone with the documentation because the lead person say that he wished us, we move together.
Maybe Chair, for clarification,
yes.
I've heard Mheshimiwa Goretti referring to the lead person as the chair of the trustees. I don't know if that is correct or not.
Of the chair of the revolving farm, the other,
but not the trust.
But not the trustee.
I think
is that the case?
I think that should be part of. It should have been part of the introduction.
Yes.
I'm the chairman, County Education Revolving Fund, which is different from the trust. In the trust, I'm just a member. The principal trustee, which in other words actually is the chairman of the trust, is one Joseph Martin.
The former CEO, Sports.
Correct.
Youth.
Then, Chair,
please, yes.
leads me to ask a question. Because
you
the
want
subject,
to negate from the good
subject
mind you
of the matter, we wanted to interrogate
yes.
that trustees. Now, are we interrogating the wrong people?
No, we are not. According to
then,
us.
If Mr. Maritim is the chair, where is he?
Maybe when you went for other engagement, honorable member, we had the Maritime here. And the 4 trustees, because of the reasons, they decided to be interrogated separately. Because as it is coming out, yes, they were co-opted from their original role. And they feel they have their reservation. I don't want to put words in their mouth. And that's why they chose to come separately. That's why we don't have the other team, the 3. Because we have 7 trustees. The 4 were just co-opted from the revolving fund. There was an issue, revolving fund. What? Education. And they were co-opted. They are saying not through a letter, by a word of mouth, and that's why they are here. So what are our members? Let them take us.
Chairman. Chair.
Yes, Honorable Kaitanyi.
Some clarification, Chair.
Yes.
I think, I don't know, I can use the word, somehow we are lost, or maybe where we are.
Don't be lost.
We are not on the right. We have, I don't know, Chair, if it is possible for them to confirm. We have a copy of the minutes, which we were given by the other team the other time, dated, it was stamped 21st May, although it had some errors whereby it was, according to it, it is dated 22nd February, and it clearly
Kindly,
states...
Secretariat, can we have that copy to our invitee so that we can go together? It's very important. If you don't have, you can take mine to do photocopy. Already has been given to them.
If, Chair, if
Yes.
they have the copy, they
Yes.
can confirm to us if it is true they had a meeting. I'm asking that because Dr. Chelula was quoted saying that they have never attended any meeting. And according to this one, there was a meeting and election was done. whereby Dr. Chelule was elected as the chair of this trustee, not the revolving fund. So unless we get
Thank
a
you,
clarification.
thank you, Honorable Member, for that good concern. But I still want us to take you back to what Honorable Isaac had said. Can we give them, hold it, they are going to answer. Can they tell us, we invited them, and they wanted us to move together, so that we can be together. Why are you here? So that we get to understand you. So that when we are engaging you on questions, at least we have heard from you why you are here, how you are brought into this scholarship program, so that when we are engaging, you have already introduced yourself, and because formally you are supposed to take us through, because you have arranged yourself, that you knew that you are not coming just for a PR exercise. You are here because you know we have received as a county assembly, we are in receipt of a petition regarding or concerning this program, Finland program, or the overseas scholarship program, and you chose to come today, not with the other trustees. Kindly, I want to give you 5 to 10 minutes so that you can take us through how you are brought in, what you know, so that I open the floor to a members to ask you questions. But I know you have captured whatever members have already asked. You have captured somewhere. Kindly take us through.
Thank you, Chairman. We are here because we were invited to be here. And the letter which we received, the one for last week, not for this meeting, the one for last week's meeting that we didn't attend, and we gave apology and we requested to be here today. In that letter, our names were listed, that we are invited to appear before this committee and shed light on all these issues. So that is the reason why we are here. Secondly, now that we have copies, each one has copies of our communication, I want to draw your attention to point number 6 on page number 2. Members, honorable members. And I would read it word by word. During our appearance before the task force on 19th December 2022.
Members, have you agreed to be taken to
yes.
point number 6, or he start from the first page?
The way
he take us the way he is comfortable. Yes. Continue.
Thank you. During our appearance before the task force on 19th of December 2022, you clearly informed the task force that the 4 of us were co-opted into the Board of Trustees March later, though not mentioning exactly the date we were co-opted in. You also disputed the audit process that the Secretariat had started, despite the fact that it was deliberated and agreed upon during the meeting of 3rd October 2022. The task force directed the trustees to hold a meeting and iron out the issues concerning the audit, while advising that a credible auditor be engaged. To date, we are still waiting for you as the principal trustee to convene that meeting. We have been requesting for that meeting incessantly, but you are just silent on it. Honorable members, the entire Board of Trustees, the 7 of us, appeared before the Governor's Task Force on 19th of December 2020. The trustees are 7. There are 7, but split And that's why we requested the four of us to have our own day today. It is actually because of the experience that we had before the task force. That it's like the task force was interviewing two different bodies within the same trust. So we felt that the four of us who were co-opted much later, and the principal trustee could not indicate the exact date when he co-opted us.
Be clear, which task force?
There is a task force that was instituted by the governor.
The former or current governor?
Current.
Thank you.
Current governor. And that task force is concurrently investigating the same issue as you do.
Continue.
So they invited us on 19th of December 2022, and we appeared, the 7 of us. So the reason why we felt that the 4 of us should just come as the 4 of us before this committee is because all along, these are the 4 who are co-opted later, and they have been sidelined in all the transactions of the trust. We've never participated in any decision of the trust, the 4 of us. And let that go into record, Chairman.
Continue, it is being captured.
Correct. So that met our reason number 6. I'll still take the honorable members through the other reasons, as a member has been kind to us that let us approach it in our comfort.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So during that appearance before the task force on 19th of December 2022, the principal trustee clearly presented that the 4 of us were co-opted later, but he was not able to tell the exact date when we were co-opted in. And we were also taken by surprise that, so we were not in the original arrangement. We were brought in later.
As afterthought.
Yes. I've also mentioned under point number 6, honorable members, of a meeting that took place on that of October 2022. I want to draw your attention now to point number 3. Point number 3 on page 1.
Chair, some clarification. On point number 6.
Yes.
And according to your statement, you had said that you had no meetings. According to this number 6, it means you had some meetings. One of the meetings that October 2022.
That is the reason why I'm taking you to number 3, so that it becomes clear.
Honorable members, kindly look for a place to write down your concern. They are all good, but let us give him ample time to take us through.
Yes. So under number 3, Chairman, we are saying you have not convened any meeting since the trust became operational. The first full trustees meeting held on 3rd of October 2022 was convened by ourselves. Let that be very clear. It was convened by ourselves. You can highlight that.
Yes.
By ourselves, out of curiosity that things were not being done rightly. Honorable members, and that is why we've put it in bold. First full trustees
meeting.
That was the first.
On 3rd October 2022.
Correctly.
And the document is trying to say that the trusteeship was initiated or started when?
I think it was around August 2021.
April 2021.
April 2021.
Continue.
Correct. So this was the first full trustees meeting that we held on that of October 2022. And that one we convened ourselves out of curiosity that things were not being done rightly. During this meeting, it came out clearly that since the trust was registered sometime back in August 2022, so many bank transactions have been done.
2021.
2021, correct? So many bank transactions have been done without approval of the entire Board of Trustees. The signatories made the decision alone. So we remain asking ourselves, what is our role as trustees if bank transactions can be carried out without our involvement? Are we really the trustees? Or number 4, during the meeting of 3rd October 2022, that is the same meeting, we had requested for the bank statement and the trustee deed. They were not availed to us. No satisfactory reason was given to us. As a result, we were not able to effectively handle agenda on those documents. To date, we have not been provided with those documents. Number 5, during the same meeting of 3rd October 2022, it was also discussed and agreed that a comprehensive response to the petition by parents be urgently prepared by the Secretariat and the signatories and submitted to the Governor to enable him respond to the petitioners. Further, it was agreed that an audit by a credible external auditor be carried out on the trust account and all other aspects of the trust. Unfortunately, to date, these two crucial activities have not been done for reasons not clear to us. We strongly feel that this amounts to an act of insubordination to the Board of Trustees and the Office of the Governor. And we refuse to participate in any kind of act that takes that direction. As a result, the Governor has not responded to the petitioners who are still waiting. Number 1, on page 1. We have not been issued with appointment letters more than 1 year down the line. No inauguration was done for us. No induction was done for us. So our membership into the trust as trustees is incomplete and improper. And number 2, we are not aware of the trustees meeting purported to have been held, whose minutes are part of the documentation submitted to KCB Eldoret East Branch during opening of the trust account, and indicating that elections of principal trustees and signatories was carried out. We visited the bank and we were told of those minutes and the trustee did. However, we were not provided with copies. We were told of an instruction to the bank that it is only the principal trustee, Joseph Martin, who can be given the said documents, including the bank statement. Maybe a bit of clarification, honorable members. After this meeting of 3rd of October 2022, the 4 of us, having learned that so many bank transactions had actually taken place, we actually visited the bank in person, the 4 of us. We went to the Eldoret East KCB branch, and unfortunately the branch manager was not there. But we were received by the operations manager, one Mr. Chesira, and we asked the operations manager which documents were submitted for opening of the account. The operations manager told us there was one, the minutes that you held a meeting, and the meeting was chaired by myself, but was signed by Mr. Martin. So that is the meeting that we are disputing, that we are not aware of that meeting. We never held a meeting where the minutes were presented to the bank for opening of the account. So we were not provided with those documents. Maybe I would request my colleague to, if I have forgotten something. But before I give to my colleague, so that is the reason, honorable members, that we presented this letter to, actually the letter is addressed to Joseph Martin, Principal Trustee, was in Gishu County Overseas Education Trust, PO Box 40, 3100 Eldoret, dear sir, and the subject is request for removal of our names from the list of trustees and reconstitution of the Board of Trustees in a proper manner. We are also, and we are saying our reasons are, reason number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which I have read word by word. And we are finally saying in that communication that our joint decision is that you first expunge our names from the list of trustees, then regularize the process of constituting the board. We are still willing to participate as board members if only the process is done rightly and operations of the trust are done in line with the law. And we copied this letter to many offices. One, we copied to CS, Lands and Physical Planning, because that is where the trust is registered. We copied to the governor. We copied to the deputy governor, who is also the chairman of the task force that was formed by the governor. We also copied to the CEC member for youth affairs, CEC member for education, the CEO, youth affairs and gender, the prime manager, KCB Eldoret East, and we also copied to the county secretary. And we've presented to that effect evidence that this communication was received in all those offices. For the CS Lands, we've attached the receipt of the courier that delivered the communication to CS Lands, because we wanted this communication to reach all the concerned offices. And today we've tabled before the County Assembly of Uasin Gishu. So these minutes that we are now seeing it for the first time, we are not aware. Let it go into the records that we are not aware of this meeting.
Members and the Secretariat, the said minutes dated 22nd February 2021 that was used to open the account in KCB, the Daktari Chelule says that he's seeing it for the first time, where their names were included. In fact, Dr. Susan Keino opened with a word of prayer. You have that minute with you? Or who prayed? The minute was a word of prayer by Dr. Susan Keino. But the chairman, who was Dr. Chelule, was not present, together with the four. That's what you're saying? You're telling this ad hoc committee?
Yes, and Chairman, you did not complete reading the prayer, the preliminary. It says, and the chairperson called the meeting to order.
To order.
And the presumed chairperson at this time is none other than Dr. Chelule.
Chelule. But thank you, member, that on behalf of the four, Daktari Chelule says that they are seeing this letter to the bank for the first time, meaning he did not chair the said meeting, and in principle, the meeting was not there. Or what can we say?
Chair.
Because if there were 7 and the 4 was not in, did they have the meeting had a quorum?
Chair.
Yes.
Honorable members through the chair, and I would also pray that maybe I may not take my time because I'm supposed to be taking my son for interview from 1, and based on this, for the purpose of the Hansard, let these minutes, purported minutes of 22nd February 2021, so that we don't be labor on them, be declared void ab initio. Void ab initio, so that we don't move on, because these are forgery, and I think it is perjury to even present. I don't want to make the final pronouncement, but to present such minutes to the committee or even the county assembly, it's unfathomable. I know you know the vindictive process as a committee.
So we take these as pure forgery?
Void ab initio, let it be recorded.
But Chair,
Forgery.
Chair, Honorable Chair.
You are using the word but. What is
I'm
it,
sorry,
Honorable
I'm
Member?
sorry. I wanted to make a point over the same.
Yes.
Now that they have disowned these written minutes, we are not really sufficient enough by word of mouth that we disown this. Can they have
Sergeant
a
Atam,
sworn?
I had requested you to do some photocopy. Did you do? Yes. I wanted to just a copy for our visitors, because they don't have a copy, according to them, of the trust deed, because the names have been used in the same. That's why I gave you. Kindly give them a copy. Continue.
So Chair.
Chair, no. Sorry. Point of order.
Yes.
Can they swear an affidavit that they have presented to this meeting, the purported meetings to be null and void? Up to now,
Legal
we take this as genuine minutes that was held and chaired by the one Dr. Chelule.
Thank you. For your information to be admissible to this committee, kindly, you are being requested as a team, because you are not doubting whatever you are saying. Can we be above board by asking you, the 4 of you, to swear an affidavit of stating whatever you have stated? Is it taken?
Much obliged.
When can
Chairman.
we get the same?
Tomorrow.
Member, are you comfortable?
Thank you, Chair, for direction.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman. Chairman, I've seen these are senior government officials.
Yes.
They are senior people in our society. We respect them.
Yes.
I don't believe that they can lie to this committee.
Yes.
But for purposes of our record, as requested by Honorable Isaac, I think it will be in order for them to do the affidavit. Chairman, if you can critically look at these minutes as well, the chairman having been elected, then I thought the chairman will take through the membership immediately after the election and move to the next step. But that one is not in the minutes. And also, Chairman, the minutes are the signatories prepared by just the signature, no name. Approved by the signature, no name. Who are these who prepared and who signed? Anyway, that one, Chairman, will be for our next interactions and
then
all
I
those
give
things.
direction that it is taken that a member, the name is David. You was asking whether you can provide now. You had already done so.
Yeah, we can. I mean, if there is a way in which, because we have a legal counsel here.
No, we want a written one. You know, you are senior government officers.
Yes.
And tomorrow you don't know whether you'll be the CS and you will find it elsewhere. So kindly, it is good to exonerate yourself in the right way. Do an affidavit the way it's supposed to be done, and tell us when you can submit to this committee.
So we do it through the lawyer or something?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Chair, allow me to make 2 questions to the senior officers.
No, they had not finished. They had not finished.
Let me say that, Chair, that I may be even, I'm not even supposed to be here myself. The reason being is that around January 2021, I received a call from our director of the revolving fund that he needed my ID and my PIN. Then I dilly-dallied because I know when somebody takes you a PIN or your ID in life, then it's likely that they'll take your land or even take your vehicle or anything. So I never provided. So as a result, for record, is that my name is not in the bank. So, but my name, by virtue of being in the revolving fund, is listed in the trust deed, which we asked hitherto around 3rd October last year, and we were not provided. And when we went with him, we took the initiative. Let me say also that we would have resigned even after 3rd October. But due to our ingenuity, is that we say let's give it time so that we see whether there are issues we addressed during the meeting, which you have the minutes, which we don't want to go through, would be addressed. And when the governor, His Excellency, the new governor, formed a task force, as a person, I thought it was going to illuminate more light and act as a panacea to these problems, because I know honorable members are representing constituency, and these are questions honorable members where they are asked when they go to visit the people or when they are within their respective jurisdiction. So then, but when we went for the meeting, the task force meeting, which he was a member, but I don't know, he will share to the committee that after that meeting he was, of course, removed from the task force. I didn't see any goodwill.
Are you telling this committee that Dr. Chelule had also been adopted by the new leadership
as a task force member?
As a task force member?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Members, are you hearing that?
But then let me say, and Joel Ruto, but then during the meeting,
Chair,
please let him.
I've not understood, because being a trustee and then nominated to be a task force, inquiring the process,
we are going to prosecute that. Kindly hold it. Continue.
So what I'm trying to say is that I know I don't want to question the wisdom of His Excellency or even the executive in composition of the task force. Probably, when we have a wound, Chair, is that there is a need that it should be pressed and removed completely. Probably it is the wisdom of His Excellency, I am not thinking for him, that he found it fit that let him, because he's a senior member of the society, to really guide the committee. So I don't know, because the chair was deputy governor. But of importance to this committee, Chair, is that when I went there, I can read even, and you can read me as I speak, I can read you as you speak, Then I realized that this thing, at some point, it is like it's not part of the county. It is outside the county. So then when I looked at it, when members, we resolved that we now pull out, because it was not very clear. It was really ambiguous. Is it part of the county? And then I looked at it, because I remember that October. I reiterated, and of course the chair can bear me witness. I said, if somebody becomes a principal trustee, and then the principal trustee now is no longer a member of the executive, I said, if this thing was to be formulated well within the executive and then brought to the county assembly, then it should be, there is this principle of, I have seen the members are very intelligent, is that there is this principle of going concern. We cannot have somebody, Casey or me, now running an overseas account when I'm no longer in the county, or even a headmaster who has been transferred or has retired, still transact for the school. I looked at it that this was a bad smoke. So that is why, as we even go out, maybe as I even go out, so that I pray that I leave early because of my son, is that I pray that let this thing be perpetual, so that we don't have a case whereby somebody goes, forges minutes, which will do, swear the affidavit. Then when he's no longer a member of the executive or a member of county assembly, then he still wants to continue, because who will hold him responsible? A chair. And that is why
Thank you.
Chair, I have a point of clarification.
Yes.
If you can excuse me. Thank you. So you are confirming there is a question I raised somewhere concerning these minutes that we were told that trustees were 7. And in the minutes, there are only 6. And the other one is not in apology or what. So you're confirming to us that, you know, there is a presentation that you said you are requested to give the PIN.
And the bank statement, I never provided.
You never provided.
Yes.
That is why your name is not here.
That is
because I'm now getting the 7th one.
Thank you, member. Thank you. You are following your question very well. That the 7th member was not included because he did not provide the needed details.
So, and Chair, that is at least I'm now getting answered. And like what Honorable Member for Kaptagat said about this one, you can realize that one document but 3 different dates.
Thank you. Let
in
us
this
continue.
one document.
Honorable members, thank you, honorable members. We are the member or our invitee, that is David Kisio. Yes. That's the name. Yes, have requested to leave us early, kindly before he leaves. You know, we are here to shed more light to the committee and even to the petitioners. First of all, before I open the floor, we have told the Sergeant at Arms to supply you with the trust deed, which you did not acquire from the bank. And the same trust deed, your names were used. And what can you say about, because we know that you are going to give us a sworn affidavit over the minutes that were used to open the account, and that one is taken. What can you tell us before I open the floor to other honorable members about the trust deed?
So, sorry, Chair. I think mine now becomes I'm a stranger in this committee now, because based on the minutes, based on the trust deed, my name doesn't appear. So can I beg to leave? Because I never provided and I knew the consequences. Because I don't just provide my ID, Chair, and my PIN anytime.
Why will I not allow you first to go? Yes, you are
because I am not in any of the.
It is true you are not in any of these.
Yeah.
But you are among the 4 trustees that were co-opted and mentioned by the other team.
But Chair, sorry. Sorry, honorable members, maybe you know I know this county assembly, I've never appeared in any assembly myself. And my prayer was, now, it is by word of mouth that I'm co-opted, but I'm not in the trust deed, which I've never seen. Thank you for providing me with it. So, which means, and even in the minutes I'm not there, so I'm a stranger. Maybe, Chair, can you give direction? Thank you.
So, Chair, before you make any ruling on that,
yes,
I'm interested to know from the member, Dr. Kesho, since it looks like it was the tradition of this, do we call it entity or organization, to communicate verbally? I don't know if there was any verbal communication to him in any of the transactions, like in the bank, because we are trying to follow the process that was used in authorizing the transactions of the bank. So I don't know if there was any verbal communication or otherwise in any of the transactions during the engagements of this organization.
It was directed to you?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was the Chair, and then you probed me further. I didn't know the modulars operandi.
That should be ordinarily the procedure.
Okay, thank you.
Now, can you answer it?
Thank you. Nothing. There was no save for the invitation of that October that I was asked to attend the meeting for the trustees, and that it is after this that you've seen in the minutes and also in the letter, our resignation letter, that we indicated we wanted to be supplied with the trust deed and even the minutes.
When the mouth is still yours, who invited you and what was the mode of inviting you?
Okay, I received a call from
And did you attend that meeting?
I attended, yes, Chair.
The mode of invitation?
I got a call from my able chairman and director Ruto of the revolving fund.
Okay.
Yeah, and even yesterday I got a call and an SMS from the chair. Otherwise, I didn't know.
You are just a honest and very sincere person. That he was co-opted by a word of mouth. Anyway, before you leave, Dr. Chelule, before I give to them, can you clear this air of adoption? Because they are members of the revolving fund, whatever names, of the county government of Wasingishu. But here, among many, the four are co-opted. How did you receive this information? With on which mode? And how is it? Can you shed the light, please?
Thank you so much, Chairman. I want to put it clearly that we received this invitation in good faith and positively. And being the members of the revolving fund, you know, it was explained to us that we have the experience. And ultimately, this overseas thing, through an amendment of the act, it was to be brought under the revolving fund. To us, it was a noble thing. And it's still a noble thing for our people. Save for now the procedure thereafter that is irritating us. So it is something that we received positively, in good faith, not anticipating what was to happen thereafter.
Thank you, honorable members. I want to open the floor because you have heard Dr. David Kisio would want to go and attend. So he's just a honest Kenyan. Okay? Therefore, I want to open the floor for questions. Just write them down. In your presentation, you have answered so many questions. Therefore, I hope members, let us go to areas that they have not touched. And I start with Honorable Samuel, and then Honorable Jonathan, Honorable Kapkea, and finally Honorable Keitani, in that order. Straight to the point. Karibu.
Thank you, Chair. I want to make around 2 or 3 questions to the side officers who are here today. Number one, according to the documents, they have been in office since April 2021. And number two, over the same, they have resigned 10th of January 2023. A period of around 1 year, 2 months. A question is, they have been there for that 1 year. Why didn't they resign then? What precipitated their resignation now? They have resigned because petitioners, being the parents, petitioned the assembly. What if there was no petition from the parents? Did they have resigned? They will answer. Number two, a question to the chair, Mr. Chelule Daktari. Why were you not being given mandatory signatory as a chair to that trust board? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Jonathan.
One of my question is what Honorable Chelule has asked Honorable Chair about when did they realize that they should write a letter to resign or question the operations of this trust. Why could you not question it as soon as possible, knowing that the procedure was not done correctly? The number two, Chairman, is on the trust was registered in lands. The deed was registered in lands. Why not in education? Why CS lands? Why not CS education, CS or various departments? Maybe from your experience as a learner and as a layman, why you can briefly maybe tell this committee why not in the education or finance? Why lands? Then lastly, Chairman, I would not have a lot of questions. Having this is a minutes that was used to open the bank account. Yes. If this one has been denied by the purported chairman and one member and several other members, then I'll not have more questions. If they can do that in the affidavit, Honorable Chairman, I'll be much satisfied.
Thank you. Honorable Kapkea.
Thank you, Chair.
Sorry, Chair, for interjection. So that the questions are not too many for us.
You want to answer those first?
Correct.
Kindly do.
Thank you so much. You know, there are already 3 questions and 2 questions. Those are 5.
Kindly do. Permission granted. Honorable Kapkea, just hold on.
Thank you so much, Chairman. I want to state that actually the cause, or rather how can I put it? What caused us to have this meeting of 3rd of October 2022, the first and the only meeting that we've had so far, is a call from the CEC Education, Mr. Kurgat, who called me and told me, Chairman, I'm in possession of a petition from parents. Actually, when you look at that petition, it was marked from the office of the governor. The petitioners addressed it to the office to the governor himself. Then it was marked to the CC Education. The CC Education called me and requested me to convene a meeting so that we can look into that petition. And that is the meeting. We have the minutes today, and we've presented the minutes. Out of the same meeting is now when more information became available to us. And we felt that so much had happened that we were not involved. If I may take members through the same minutes, page 2.
Members, you are in receipt of the minutes. Are we together? Unless maybe a member who have just joined us. Thank you.
On page number 2, Chairperson, and actually the 4 of us, the other 3 members in that meeting insisted that I should chair the meeting. Ideally, it should have been the principal trustee. So at the beginning of the meeting, Dr. Kesho and the other 2, and Susan and Lois insisted that I should chair
the meeting.
And I think it was some sort of confusion because I was the chair of the revolving fund. Little did we know that actually Joseph Martin is the principal trustee, and he's actually the one to chair the meeting. So I chaired the meeting, and that's why in this you are seeing my name as chairing the meeting. So Chairperson welcomed all members to the meeting, noted that it was the first full trustees meeting since registration of the trust. Informed members that he was in receipt of a petition from the parents whose children are beneficiaries of the program. The petition addressed to the governor was forwarded from the CECM Education, Culture, Youth Affairs and Sports, Mr. Joseph Kurgat, emphasized that His Excellency the Governor urgently wanted a comprehensive response to the petition. Concern raised from the date of registration of the, I think a member raised this, from the date of the registration of the trust to date, to now that date when you are holding the meeting, and even today, it was noted that so much had happened without involvement of some members, especially those members who are not full-time staff of the county government. Several bank transactions had been carried out. Agreed that it is fair enough to those members to own up whatever has been transacted only after an audit has been done, especially in view of the foregoing petition by parents and guardians, and all the audit queries addressed. And going forward, all bank transactions should be endorsed by trustees prior to their transaction. Another concern raised was that members felt that their appointment as trustees was not proper. They have not been formally served with appointment letters. Further, it is not clear whether there was actual amendment to the revolving act that brought under the board's mandate the operation of the overseas program. The board was not involved in the said amendment. Neither have they seen copies of the amended act. Also, members are not sure of the documents that were submitted to the bank because there was no meeting held. Agreed, all these concerns have to be addressed for proper membership into the trust board. Otherwise, members felt that their membership into the trust was not properly done. You see, and then you come to the familiarization of the Trust Act, because we really wanted to know what the Trust Act is saying. And I think one honorable member has asked why the CS lands and not CS education.
Yes.
We later on came to learn that in law, in the Kenyan law, all the trusts are registered at the Ministry of Lands, not education. So it is in law. I think that question is well answered.
Dr. David, you wanted to add something?
Yes.
So that it is...
Maybe before he adds that,
Okay.
There was a question that why were we resigning on 6th of January 2023. Actually, we wanted to resign earlier. And I remember the deputy governor in a small meeting we held in his office humbly requested us not to resign. That all these issues will be sorted out.
Some clarification, Chair.
Yes.
The current deputy governor.
The current deputy governor, His Excellency John Parorot, in a meeting that I had in his office, and we had already done a letter of resignation that came almost immediately after our meeting of that. He requested, and I went back. The 3 members were not in that meeting, but I went back and I communicated to them, because they had tasked me, having signed the letter, they had tasked me to go and submit a letter to the governor. I went, I did not find the governor, but I met a deputy governor. So that process of submitting the letter, the deputy governor told me, Chelule, don't run away when the house is burning. Remain so that you help us to put this house in order. So I went back and I informed these members that we've been requested not to resign, but they were not satisfied. And after some few weeks, members said, no, enough is enough. We have to resign. And so we tendered this resignation on this date. So we could have done it earlier, immediately after our meeting of that of...
so it is the current leadership that had requested you not to.
Correct.
But you are confirming to this committee that the third meeting, the dated 3rd October.
Yes.
That was the first meeting you have ever
Yes.
sat
Yes, I'm confirming.
concerning the
Yes.
trusteeship
Yes.
in relation to the overseas scholarship program.
Yes.
And Chair.
One other thing that must go into the records is how this meeting of that was convened. Ideally, it is the work of the principal trustee to convene a meeting. He's like the chairman. This meeting was not convened by him as the principal trustee.
Yes.
This meeting was convened by myself and the four of us.
After the CC education then
Yes.
told you that there is a petition.
Yes. And you have to handle this petition. And the principal trustee was declining actually to call for a meeting. So the CC education called me and told me, why don't you take charge and answer this petition?
Thank you, taken.
That is why, if I take you to, I think I had taken you to one of our points in our letter, dated 6th of January 2023.
Did number 2? Number 3 or number? We have not convened any meeting since.
Of course, under number 3, we've stated clearly that the meeting was convened by ourselves out of curiosity. The things were not being done rightly. Number 3, not 3, 4, 5, that we requested in that meeting that a comprehensive response to the petition by parents be urgently prepared by the Secretariat and the signatories and submitted to the governor to enable him respond to the petitioners. So that one was never done. That was never done. We also requested in that meeting that an audit be done. And the Secretariat actually went ahead to appoint an auditor. But that process stalled. When the auditor requested for the documents, you know, the auditor was actually appointed. And the appointment letter was given to the auditor, and he accepted. And he was to begin the work. But the principal trustee refused to provide the documents.
Be very clear
Chair,
so that it can be captured.
for records,
Yes.
can you name that auditor, whether external or internal?
External auditor.
By the
Can
name?
you give the name?
Samoei. Actually, it is a company. I don't remember the company clearly.
Who appointed the county executive? That is you are calling it what?
The secretariat.
The secretariat.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Because it is actually, you know, that the board of trustees is a policy level. And once it has agreed something and minuted, it becomes the work of the secretariat to implement those minutes, including now following those procurement procedures to get the auditor. So the secretariat, led by Joel Ruto, who is actually the secretary to the trust, had actually progressed.
Joel Ruto is there?
He is the director, County Education Revolving Fund, and the trust secretary. So he went ahead to implement the resolution of the Board of Trustees that was passed on this date and minuted in these minutes, that an auditor be found, be procured, and to do the work. as part of, it was one of the queries that were raised in the petition. The petitioners actually wanted to know whether this trust has ever been audited. And I remember in the deliberations of that meeting that it was agreed that now that the trust is 1 year old, it should actually be audited. And we resolved that an auditor, the trust be audited. So it was now the work of the secretariat led by Joel Ruto and others to procure an auditor. They went ahead, they procured an auditor, the auditor was appointed, the auditor accepted and requested for the documents that will facilitate his work, which included now the trustee deed and all the minutes, all the MOUs, and the bank statement, the receipts that were used to pay for the ticket, the visas, and all the related documents. Those documents to date have not been availed to the auditor. And the principal trustee actually refused to provide those documents. So as we sit here, the auditor is actually still waiting for those documents to be availed to him so that he continues the work.
Thank you. Before you add a question, Dr. David Kisio wanted also to add something on the registration of the deed.
Yes, thank you very much. So now, Chair, I wanted to, or I pray that you know, that I'm not appearing in any, not in trustee, not in minutes. So therefore, I cannot even swear an affidavit where I'm not, because I will be swearing against what. And if I saw this, I would have not even appended my signature in the resignation because I'm not there. So that I wanted you to make a ruling quietly, or aptly that I'm not there. I'm a stranger, total stranger. And again, when I appeared in the task force, which he was a member really, you know me, I was in the task force, he was a member. So when I appeared, I tried to interrogate even this issue of
You're confirming also you were also in the task force?
I was invited to.
Oh, you were invited?
Yes, so he was.
This stranger is being invited all over, and
it's because I'm in revolving fund.
I think that's it.
Yeah. So then I asked about this idea of the auditor. Then His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, DG, said, you know what, the auditor, we can actually, you people, the trust members, can look for the auditor. To me, I was like, I was once upon a time an assistant dean of student in Moi University before I went to academia. How can a referee, can a player look for the referee? So that is what I was asking myself.
According to you, who was supposed to appoint the auditor?
It's supposed to be the executive or the county assembly. Because
the question comes, is it a program of the county?
In fact, that is why, Chair, you are guiding me. Thank you for guiding me through, just like my... so let me say this, Chair. So, sorry.
Honorable member, give him.
So that I go, please. So you see, I've read this, maybe if there is an annexia. I'm not seeing anywhere where Maritim is a principal trustee. Maybe I've not read very well. It is not appearing anywhere. There is nowhere was
on the trustee deeds.
Yes. I've not seen him as a principal. I've not also seen anything. He was in Gishu County. It is was in Gishu Overseas Education Trust, which means it can be independent of the Wazingishu. In my view, from the layman perspective, I just want to be a layman because we have learned friends here and I'm an educated friend. So, thank you, sorry, Chair, for digressing.
Yeah, Honorable member, before we leave him, because he's right to leave.
Yes.
Because he's nowhere. But because he has been a very good person, that's why he's being invited. He's been co-opted, invited into task force. Now he's here. Before we leave him, I want to give. We had given to Kapkea before we come to you.
No, over the issue of principal administrator. trustee by the name Joseph Maritim. Then can they assist us? How was he being co-opted in such a huge task?
Honorable
Position.
member, we started by a very huge word that we treat this minute as what? Null and?
Ab initio.
The word that we use, you said what?
Void ab initio.
Void ab initio. Meaning?
In totality.
From the beginning it's not there. So, referring to this thing, we are also doing not the right thing. Because already the 4 are denouncing among the 7. So stop using that. We are waiting for the affidavit to affirm that. Okay? So stop that. Honorable Kapkea?
Maybe chair.
Mine is
Maybe chair. So that we move away from this issue.
Thank you. So that I prosecute Honorable Dr. David Kisio.
Yes.
Before you leave, you have been mentioned adversely. That's why you are here. That's why even the county government leadership invited you in a meeting for you to be within the task force. It is good to exonerate yourself by also swearing that affidavit, because you have been mentioned adversely, though not written, no written. But to me, I think it is wise, because you are nowhere. But why you were co-opted? The name was, you are among the 4 who are co-opted, though they were co-opted by the word of mouth. 2, in those meetings, you just became wise, you did not give particulars. But the name kept on coming up and again. So my advice, it is good. Because it costs nothing. It is good in that affidavit to also swear. Though the name does not appear, but I'm telling you, it has been adversely mentioned. So exonerate yourself. Not now, it's you to think.
Chair.
Yes.
I'm actually in concurrence with your advice to my brother.
Yes.
That because he has been adversely mentioned, you see, the information is providing to this committee that he was requested to provide the documents and he did not provide. Maybe there was at that point that his name now started diminishing and is not visible here. But I can confirm that the initial arrangement was that actually it was the advice of the former governor that the 4 of us be co-opted. So in the initial arrangement, his name was there.
Though not written.
Though not written. You know those initial arrangements were verbal.
And you gave them a benefit of doubt.
And as much as it was verbal, he has been adversely mentioned. Yes. It will be good that he exonerates himself also from...
He can swear a different affidavit. Not yours. You swear yours, he swear...
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Or how do we say? I rule so.
My question was concerning what Dr. Chilula is also explaining.
Yes.
And I wanted to know, in the first place, Dr. Kesho, that is the name, Yes, was requested to be co-opted to the trust fund. Then now...
A word of mouth through a phone.
So that you confirm.
Was that the case?
Chair, I never received any call or anything.
I wanted to point of clarification so that you clarify to the committee.
Yes.
That in the first place, I'm assuming that in the first place, you are requested either individually or through the chair county revolving fund that the 4 members will be co-opted to the trust fund. Then now, later you are called to provide your bank statement and a PIN. Because you failed not to submit the 4 documents because of your personal reasons, you are now, you didn't appear, your name didn't appear in the registration or even in those minutes of opening the account. But in the first place, were you informed that you will be co-opted as the member of the trust fund?
And you have been very honest. Continue being honest.
Maybe one thing that I need to put it clear how it was done. You see, the former governor did not actually request us directly. It was done through the department, and me, I remember the CO telling me that the governor has said include these 4. You see, so it was not a direct communication from the governor to us. It
Through
was
somebody.
Yes, I think the CO was directed that because ultimately we are bringing this thing to be under the revolving fund. Why can you have these 4 as part of the trustees? And as I've put it, and I will reiterate it still to this committee, that we took it positively. We took it by faith that it was a good thing for our county. And actually it was, and still it is. Were it not for all these issues now that have happened, it is still a good thing. And I indicated even to the task force that clear these things so that our county can continue benefiting from this thing. We have even indicated in our...
Narrow down to
Yes.
exactly what the member have asked,
but-
narrow down, because we want to release you, if possible. Can
Now,
you narrow
member,
down to what Honorable Member have just...
Chair, I had not exhausted my questions,
Yes.
so that I'll give it.
Are you contented? Because he has not
that
answered.
That question I was directing to
For Kisi.
Dr. Kesho.
Yes.
Whether you had known that you are now co-opted through the way Dr. Chilula has explained, but later you chose not to give out your PIN and statement because someone was just asking and you suspected any malicious word. Maybe you can just explain that. And then, Chair, you'll after that you'll give me chance to exhaust my questions, kindly.
Please.
So, very briefly, Chair, let me answer that. I was not formally, not even called, but as it is, the way we operate in revolving fund is that our chairman, Dr. Chelule, is our de facto leader, and quite often he communicates with them. But when I received invitation to submit my document is when I declined. But later on, around April 22nd, I was asked by Joel Ruto to provide my PIN and also April 20 last year. For the audit process, so that this committee will actually get to the limelight that there has been attempt for audit of the process. I was asked for, good morning, sir, kindly assist us with a copy of your ID and KRA PIN to assist us in the audit of the trust. That was April 21st, 2022. I was being asked.
That is a message.
This is a message from
April
21st, 2022. I was being asked to provide a KRA PIN and also ID to assist in the audit process. So to me, I didn't know how ID and KRA PIN for the audit process, maybe for the auditors or something, but what I did, I provided the ID and I didn't provide the KRA PIN. So, and it is here. Yeah, so that's it. But
you're
then
saying April
21st.
2022.
22.
Taken, but I think you have taken my direction that because your name has been adversely mentioned and you have already confirmed that you are requested to provide the ID and the PIN, and through your wisdom you decided to withhold one and give the other. Now you are concurring with this committee. Indeed, your name has been adversely, and it is good. Though you wanted to choose not to swear an affidavit, it is for your own good. It is for your, because I can see you with this mind. This is the mind Kenyans want. You might go very far, but it is good to exonerate yourself. This name that was adversely mentioned, just maybe you can, before you leave, you can ask our legal person on how to go about it, because it's for your own good, not for anybody. Go it for your own. Kindly consider swearing an affidavit of exonerating yourself in all that, and it will be good for our honorable members. The time is 20 minutes past 12, and
one before Kesho leaves.
I want us agree that anybody who has a question for Kisio, kindly bring it up so that after tea we release him. Let us be just candid enough. We release him.
Chair, am I allowed to make request or prayer before even I leave? Am I allowed?
Let them ask question and then you'll make your prayer.
Okay.
Kindly.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Amos.
Thank you, Chair. I want to appreciate the deliberation, but out of my own judgment, it seems, not even Kesho alone, even you, Dr. Chelule, that you are not formally or officially, you are not members of this overseas trust, whatever. Because one, in your own letter, you say that you have no letter of appointment, which is very true. And at some point, I'm now wondering, and maybe the rest of the members, what was the need of saying, you told His Excellency the Deputy Governor that you want to resign. You resigned from where? And yet, when you look at some of your statements that you made, one, you are imagining that you are members of a trust fund, which you are not members. You are developing interest or curiosity to an entity which you are not required, you don't appear.
Just to advise you, Honorable Member, your question are good, but they are trustees. They are in the trust deed. Apart from David,
Very true. Thank
but
you.
others are in the trust deed. So they have a reason of withdrawing from.
And
Chair,
thank you.
sorry,
Maybe
please,
maybe
let
at
him
that-
exhaust.
Maybe at that point,
Yes.
so that we don't forget. It's a good question. I want to take you back to our letter, page 1. You know, this is a letter that we carefully drafted, even considering the wordings. And it is, I'm happy with that question.
Thank you.
We were asking ourselves, which word are we using? Is it resignation or removal? You see, and we said we should use removal.
Not resignation.
You resign when you are properly in something. You see, so we are saying request for removal of our names. I don't know whether
that is
you know the subject, the subject of the letter,
Oh,
letter.
The heading
Yes.
of the letter.
We
They are keenly using the word removal.
it is true, Chair, but in the oral submission, you say it resignation. But
Now stand guided.
When you have mentioned the removal, now I say you are good to go.
Thank
At
you.
least you have understood your role in that.
This is good to sit with educated persons, because now I'm also getting there is a difference between removed and resignation. You resign on a thing that you are properly instituted. Therefore, Honorable, any other question that touch to Dr. Kisio? Please, because I want us to break for tea.
So you mean
even as members do the questions, Chair.
Yes.
I would also request that I also be released because I have another meeting later.
Why don't I rule this? If you have any question, put it forward, because their first submission and the letter speak volume. They have agreed to bring an affidavit exonerating them. So kindly, whenever you ask, already they say that they were not properly not appointed or co-opted, because there is no letter, no word, no any meeting. So if you have any meeting, any question that you think that it will, like whatever Amos have just, Honorable Amos have just put, and he have agreed, he has qualified the question, that it was a good question. And it has been clarified that it was not resignation, it is removal. Kindly, if you have such a question, bring it up. And I start with Honorable Caroline. You had not finished.
I had requested that you not.
Then I give you full time and direct question.
Thank you.
Honorable Caroline. After him, Honorable David Keitani, Honorable Caroline, Honorable Chair Education, Honorable Isaac, and finally, not finally, I think there are one question, if so be it, in that order. Please direct to the question.
Thank you. My first question is this. In that county education revolving fund, 4 members were co-opted. Will you mind if you share to us, that board has how many members? Because maybe 4 of you were co-opted, but later some of others were allowed to act on your behalf in the meetings or in the trust fund, or maybe you will find that in all those transactions that you are saying, that many transactions was done, maybe one of your members of the county education revolving fund participated in that. So I wanted to know how many how many in the county education revolving fund, so that 4 of you are co-opted. And lastly, because we are learning, like what Honorable Member for Kaptagat Ward was saying, why was it registered in Ministry of Lands? I want to know in that trust, because maybe you've done some research.
Kisio was to shed some light, he didn't.
Maybe you've done some research that in a trust, there is a principal trustee and there is chairman. So that you are the chairman and the other one is the principal trustee. Because in most of the documents you are appearing as chairman.
Don't qualify your question.
Yeah, so I'm just asking that question.
Thank you. Honorable Shah or Keitani. And straight to the point.
You are very strict, Chair, but anyway, I will go straight to the point. My question, maybe I have to reduce my questions.
Kindly note them down. Kindly.
Number one is that I just wanted to get from the two if they have ever gotten any money from that overseas fund, any kind of maybe funds from them, and also on the issue of coming up after 1 year. I don't know what happened, that they just kept quiet the whole year, and they are now complaining of the bank transactions after almost 1 year and something. Yes, they are aware that some students who are supposed to go, or they had already traveled to Finland, and it was the same account which was being used. I don't know what were your imagination, because they could not travel without the committee paying the school fees. Thank you.
Thank you. Though it was earlier, they clarify, Honorable Kalorain.
Thank you, Chair. To Dr. Casio, now that I came in when he's keen on exonerating himself from the happenings of and the undertakings of this trustee actually the trustee composition of the issue at hand, I hope he has been able to help this committee of all the observations, the facts that he has at his disposal or at his hand, so that it will help us in a report writing and even the way forward. So I hope he has not gone back, or he's not going back with anything, simply because he's nowhere, as he has expressed. So what I hope to capture, I hope that you'll capture in your prayers is also your recommendations and what you think should be the way forward as far as what you've witnessed is concerned. Chair, to Dr. Chelule, declaring my conflict of interest. This is someone I know personally as a high value individual and someone who at this point sitting on this end of the committee, I might not have any question on him, because I've actually worked with him and I've known him as someone who is very honest and someone who is dependable. And when I walked in and saw that it is him, I'm like, how did all this happen?
Under his watch.
Sorry. Yes, he's someone who has a keen eye on detail. He's an educationist, a renowned statistician, an academician, and I have a lot of respect for him. So when I saw him there, I'm like, all this, I really expect so much seeing him on that end, and so I won't have any question for him, because then might conflict on interest. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So you had only one question. Honorable Sawe, Chair Education. Yego.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is I want to maybe get further information. I want to thank the two gentlemen here for actually presenting the message properly. I only wanted to inquire whether it's the same position that you are holding for the two who are not with us here. There is one who signed the letter, and there is one who did not sign the letter. I don't know. You can confirm to this committee that this is the position of the two who are not with us here. Kindly.
Thank you. There are not many questions. Just mute them. Honorable Patrick.
Thank you, Chair. My question will be one. Now, given that they have given us all this information, and Dr. Chelule says this is a good program for Wasingishu, it should continue. How do you observe the whole thing now? Do you see it shrouded in a very suspicious activity? I mean, suspicious activities going on in? Can you just say straightforward that they are doing a good thing, or you have a problem with it? The petitioners are complaining. Do you think there's no problem with that? The problem was just you being opted into it without the right, channels, or you have some suspicion of the activities going on there. Thank you.
Honorable Patrick, your question is taken though very long. I thought you wanted to say that because they are saying it's a good program, what is their advice? What is the observation and advice?
And advice. Thank you.
Honorable Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Chair. Now that we have established that the two members of the trustee sat for just one meeting, I wonder if they were able to draw any allowances at that meeting, and if they can help the committee also, because a number of the members of the trustee, this board of the trustee, are also members of the county education revolving fund. I'm sure they are sharing. Are they in possession of the information that they have been drawing allowances in their subsequent meetings over these trustee meetings? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mary Goretti, we are coming to an end. Don't mind.
Okay, Chair, thank you. My question is that apart from the letter to be removed from the trustee, were you able to share your experiences with any of the officials in the county, and especially the CEO? Secondly, being the county education revolving fund, I want to believe that you knew that you are working with the CEC together with the CEO. What was the take of the CEC? Thank you.
Honorable Isaac, you had something?
Yes. I have final two questions, Honorable Chair, to place to the members of the trustee. Number one, if a member of staff or a trustee is found to have done what was not envisaged in the governing trust, Chelule Daktari and your colleague, what can you propose as a measure of discipline? Number two, if at the end of the session and recommendation of this Honorable Assembly, will you be liable to any civil or criminal proceedings if it happened that misappropriation of funds happened to the great people of this was engaged with that were part and parcel of the Finland? Will you exonerate yourself? Will you bear the criminal responsibility because your name has been adversely mentioned? The last one, because you have try to put around 90 to 98%, you want to exonerate your names. Will this assembly take your names, take your role as an agent, as a witness? Though we are not a criminal investigating agent, can you turn to be our agent as assembly in finding out the matters that
call
were
them
done
witness.
or witness? Thank you. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Finally, I want to put my, because I want us, because your earlier submission talks volume. What do you take? You have now known that your names were either wrongly used because you are not, you did not know about the existence of the trust deed, the opening of the accounts with a forged minute, if I can call them so. As learned Kenyans, how do you take that? And what is your take toward the same? Two, the other arm of government, they formed what? They are calling what? The task force. There is, in quotes, they are saying that the audit ought to have been carried out. But the same principal trustee was the one who is being asked to give or to take an auditor. What is your advice to this committee? Because it is proper to do the same, because Kenyans are keenly watching. And finally, in very few words, because you have kept on saying it was a good idea, and still it is a good idea. What is your advice to this committee? Because by the end of the day, we are going to come up with a recommendation. Kindly try to.
Thank you so much, Chairman.
Thank you.
It is in law that all trusts are registered at the Ministry of Lands. In the structure of a trust, there is no chairman. We have the principal trustee and the trustees. I hope that one is clear. You've talked of whether we've shared our experiences and advice to the executive. Yes. I've talked to the governor. I've talked to the deputy governor over this issue. And just in the same way, I've informed this committee that these programs are good for our people. I will still maintain that they are good for our people. It is still a noble thing. Those who've traveled, those whose children are now in Canada, in Finland, the families are happy. The advice I gave to the executive, and which I'm also giving to this committee, the oversight committee, with your oversight role, one is that we improve the structures of running that program. I told the executive that to second an accountant to be expressly in charge of this trust, and let the payment documents before any payment, let them go through the same process as any other payment in the county government. Let them be examined at the Department of Finance. Let them be audited, pre-audited, and let the audit cover also this process. The problem we have today is a problem of accountability, lack of accountability and transparency. If you are to read in between the lines in that petition, and I've always told the governor, and I've always told the deputy governor, I've told the education department, the problem as to why we are here today is a problem of lack of accountability and transparency. Parents are asking, what is it that you don't want to account the money that we paid? In terms of how much went to fees, how much were paid for flight ticket, how much went to visa, and give us the receipts, the documentary evidence. How can you tell a parent to pay 1.4 million and you cannot account with evidence that money? That is the problem we are having. If these parents could be given the evidence that, yes, this is the much you paid. Look, here is the receipt. We paid this for the tuition. We paid this for the flight ticket. We paid this for accommodation. We paid this for visa. We paid this for COVID test. We paid this blah, 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 blah. So even the four of us, we are asking ourselves, why is it that when parents are asking for this kind of transparency, they are not being given the information they want? And that has generated so much mistrust from the parents. The parents love the program. And I can confirm to this committee that those parents have talked to me direct. Initially, they were telling me, Chelule, we know you will save this issue. Now they're asking me what is happening. And I told them this is the steps I've taken, and I'm not receiving any cooperation. You see? So it is a problem of accountability and transparency that's also hurting the four of us. What is this that is being hidden? That parents cannot be given the breakdown with evidence.
So you are confirming that the petitioner said that the program is run with a lot of secrecy. It is true.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm confirming. The other advice I had given to His Excellency the Governor was that, why can we sit down? And I offered myself with the county attorney, with the county secretary, with the legal office, with the corporate, the public, the one that is in charge of communication. And we issue a press in written explaining each of these things so that, you know, every interested party can learn what is happening. He accepted. But when I tried to follow up again, nobody was willing to do that. You see. So we've met a very noble thing to be shrouded with a lot of suspicion and generate a lot of problems. You see, the parents said, in fact, they told me, I can confirm. Those parents, the first group that their children are in Tampere University, they told me, Dr. Chelule, if you can clarify these things, we will pay fees today. We have the money. We will pay fees today, but failure to be accountable, we will never pay, even for the second year. Somebody asked, what is our take? What is our feeling about this? We are hurt. We are hurt that our names are there, and I can say they are there ornamentally. They are ornamentally. And we've been asking ourselves, the four of us, why did His Excellency, the former governor, wanted our names to be there? Was it to give a good picture that this trust is being run by very good people? very trustworthy people, and then other things be done behind our backs. And that's why we finally agreed that whatever the reason, we requested that let our names be removed. You see, the CEC education, the former, Mr. Korugat, was also in the dark. But I will not speak for him. I would wish that that is what he has been sharing with me. He was also sidelined just like us. Maybe you will invite him also to share what he knows about it. Let me not speak for him, but that is what he told me. Proposed discipline, you know, I had told the deputy governor, let us audit this thing. You see, the only objective way to know whether money has been misappropriated or not is through an audit, period. I told you, let us audit this thing and know the picture exactly, whether some money is missing or not. And if the money is missing, it is in whose hands? We've all seen the statement, the bank statement. Money went out from the bank account through certain names. Can those names account? You know, to me, it was like an interest. Can those names account how they spend that money? Okay? So an audit is mandatory. I told the principal trustee, Mr. Martin, you will refuse this thing, but it will be done ultimately. An audit will be done ultimately. You can't refuse forever. I told him you will refuse with a bank statement, but we will get it ultimately. You see? We are ready to be witnesses. We are ready. And it will also be captured in our affidavit. We are ready to be witnesses if called to be. You've talked of allowances. Yes, we confirmed that for that one meeting, we were paid allowances for that one meeting. And we were paid allowances commensurate to what we usually get in the revolving fund. We used the same rates. And even in the revolving fund, we took some time to get our allowances because we had to write to SRC to give us advice on what we are entitled to. And they responded. They tell the chairman is entitled to this and this and this and this. Member is entitled to this. So we used the same. So for that one meeting that we...
Interjection.
Yes.
Dr. Ari.
Yes.
If today you find that because you came to learn to at the end that your name have been used, maybe also it was drawing allowances. For the, is it for 1 year or 2 years that was in place? Think food for thought. Don't answer. But we are going to find it somewhere.
The audit will clear.
The audit will clear.
Yes.
Thank you.
As we are for the audit, let the audit be done. Our advice to this committee, let the audit be done. Let the audit
by an auditor who has been picked by, specifically?
Now that we are not agreeing as the trustees on the auditor. You see, the principal trustee informed the task force that is not comfortable with the auditor that was picked, that the auditor might be biased. That's what he told the task force. So we request that let the auditor...
You mean the aspect of choosing who to audit me came about?
Yes.
Continue.
So I don't know, but I'm almost sure that the county assembly has the powers to get an auditor. You have the powers. That one I know. Why don't you get an auditor? So that the audit report will be part of the report to this committee.
We stand guided. Continue.
You talked of, I think I've touched most of the things. You talked of, have I forgotten something? Yeah.
He might not be of help to you because he dashed out.
Chair, to remind,
yes,
there is a question from Honorable Member for Sergoit that have you gotten any money from the trust? You benefited from any money from
Only
the trust? And my question was also the membership of a county revolving fund, so that 4 of you are co-opted, but the full membership of that board.
Thank you so much. We have not gotten any money from the trust, save for the allowances for that one meeting. We don't know the criteria that His Excellency, the former governor, used to pick the 4 of us. But the 4 of us were picked. Yet we are 9 in the revolving fund.
So 6 were left out.
5.
5.
5 were left out. So no, actually 4 were left out. Because we also have the director revolving one, who is our secretary to the board, also being the secretary to the trust, Joel Ruto. So and the 4 of us, so that makes 5. 5 of us. So 4 were left out. We don't know the wisdom behind that.
You have answered the question.
Then,
Chair, I wanted to know if you can share the names of the remaining 4. Maybe there is one who has been, but my question was also maybe someone have been participating in the as the member of the board and participating in the
Are you in a position to provide that information? You might not give it now because as the chair, you might be having the names of, because we were only told.
The chair, maybe, according to my understanding, from what Honorable Kakia said, is that, you know, even us as a committee, sometimes we do our side investigation.
Go straight to the point.
Maybe you can give the names of those who are left out, and Honorable Member Kakiai will be able to relate with whatever information he has. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Those who are left out, one is Dr. Joseph Lelan, who is the chairman, County Education Board. 2, we have Mr. Kiarie, John Kiarie. We have 3, we have Paul Sukut. And then we have Reverend Koimur. Those are the 4 that were left out.
John Kiarie was somebody a headmaster in a given primary school?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
The name suggests. Are you comfortable, Honorable Kapkia? Thank you. Any other question that has not been?
Mine has not been answered.
Which was it?
I had asked a question to them directly that if at the end of the process it found that money was misappropriated, will they stand liable, civil and criminal proceedings?
They'll be our witness. They have said so. They'll be our witness.
We've confirmed that we will stand as witnesses. Okay. Finally, Chair.
Yes.
The other advice I wanted to provide to this committee.
Yes.
Is that once the audit has been done.
And the mic is too far from your mouth.
Once the audit has been done.
Yes.
Once the audit has been done, it will give a very clear picture whether there was misappropriation or not.
Thank you.
If there was misappropriation, we know what parents went through to raise that money. And it is so painful. We know what they went through. Some parents sold all they have. Parents have done so many harambes. Parents have taken loans. It is a painful thing. Let that money be recovered, if at all.
Money was misappropriated.
Let it be recovered so that these parents can have justice.
Thank you.
I highly suspect that, somebody might put it in the name of administration fee, that this figure was administration and all that. That program can be run with even an administration fee of less than 5,000 per parent. Any huge figure cannot be administration fee. So whatever can be stated as administration fee, I think it is logic.
Point taken.
It cannot be that huge. So thank you so much. We look forward.
There is a member whose question, I don't know, Honorable Yago.
Yes, Chair, thank you. Mine was clarification, and I think it has not been clarified. Two members are absent, and the two ladies, Dr.
Thanks for the. I've recalled the question.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Actually, whatever we are presenting here, members, is actually in writing. We are just putting it verbally before you, what we have documented. And you can see that it is a joint decision. The reason why Dr. Susan Keina did not sign is because she's out of the country.
Taken.
But she has all this information, and I've actually put a note, because she communicated to myself, I've put a note there that Dr. Susan Keina is currently out of the country. However, she is in agreement with every detail of this letter.
Thank you.
Okay?
Taken. Don't go. Don't qualify it further. It is taken.
Finally, we are contemplating as the four of us, and we are in consultation with a lawyer as to whether we will sue this matter for defamation. You see now our names have been adversely mentioned. So we are being guided by our lawyer as to whether we will sue for defamation. You cannot put our names there to be ornamental, do other things behind our backs, and say these are the trustees. You see? The principal trustee mentioned to the task force categorically that in all these decisions, actually, we were not involved. And he mentioned, and I think this is a matter that you also need to pursue, he mentioned that the four of them had actually been appointed to run the affairs of the trust on a day-to-day basis. You see? So that's a matter that you also need to get. That why were these four appointed to run the affairs of the trust? And you see the resolution seems to have been from somewhere. Now the four of us, our names are there, and we are not doing anything. And that's why, first of all, we are removing this. We are going to, we've issued this communication to all the offices. We are going to swear an affidavit. You will receive it by tomorrow through our lawyer. And we are here to make a decision as to whether we'll sue this matter, prosecute this matter, because this is defamation of our names. This is defamation. Thank you so much.
Dr. Kisio, do you have anything to add?
Chairman, thank you very much. I think our chair has really captured everything. And one thing, my recommendation was from the outset when, when this thing was going on, really it was not brought before us. And for one thing, I'm really concerned about the principle. I know whoever came up with this overseas program had a good faith, utmost good faith. The intention or the mens rea, the intention was good. So that it is incumbent upon the county assembly now with your able committee to really fine-tune the process, and so that it still helps people. Because as you even make your own interrogation and also recommendation, bear in mind, Chair, that there are parents who have already paid, even including 2 of my neighbors, because they know I'm in the board. But of course, they don't know overseas and the board. So they paid fees. In fact, 2 of them withdrew out of the university, technology, actual engineering, to pay. They paid last year, early last year. They have studied online, Finland, this university engineering course. There is that other university. So they have not gone. Every time, I think their visas has been launched. So they have not gone. So there are parents out there. They have sold the land. They have sold plots. And they are waiting to go, and they are not going. And for your information, Chair, is that the anticipation was when they go out, then they start paying their own money. So we don't want to micromanage, and I know you don't also want to micromanage, but you are giving structural improvement on it, is that this idea of if there is a way in which when students earn money there, they don't send money again and put in the same Eldoretist account. So they send money in form of euros, then it is converted, it is in shillings, then again, or even in form of euros. So if there is a way in which it will be streamlined, and again, if there is a way in which it can be separated from the revolving fund or the county employee, so that you find the 3 gentlemen, Joseph, Meshach, Rono, these are employees who are employed under revolving fund. So last week, 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting, and the chair reiterated that even their performance now in collection of the money which was given to those students, MTCs, is now even being compromised because they are very busy. Because this overseas program is very Jewish for some employees, because if it involves going outside the country, taking a flight to Nairobi quite often. So, but if there is a way in which it can be done, I know all the honorable members have in a way taken their children or their neighbors outside the country. And that is why our chair said it's possible to use 5,000 shillings. Nowadays, we are going blended and digital. Once the visas have been launched and it can be sent directly, why should it be like there is a lot of ballooned expenditure in form of registration, administration? So I know this audit will bring into focus. And as you also interrogated the matter further, we have third-party agents. I don't know whether the chair mentioned. We have, in Finland, we have Kiblagat. I would be desirous that you call upon him, even if it is Zoom. You sit in a meeting and then you have Zoom. We also have one.
Be clear, because you're bringing a new and a good thing.
I was giving a recommendation.
It is good, the name, because as you have said it is also coming clear that it was a good program, but the mismanagement part, so that we get to know from that man. You are saying you are calling him?
So what I was saying, Chair, as I finish, as I also give you the names, is that sometimes I wonder what a county employs people, then these people run in a program which is not anchored in the law act of the county assembly, and they do it full time. And as opposed to, there is need in which this process should be, shortened, so that these people can still do their own mandate. Because as in the university, we do teaching, research, and extension. I'm not a politician, I'm a technocrat. So by the end of the day, if I go and do other things which are not the core function, then there is a problem. So what I'm saying is that we have third party people. Third party are people who assist us to, to get the schools and also assist the students and also support them. They do a lot of work. And in Finland, we have Kiplagat. Mr. Kiplagat, and we have John Nagaki in Canada. He's doing under Elimu. He has an organization called Elimu, which is the one who organizes the schools, and even when the governor or even the people go outside the country, like these people who are running the program, the secretariat. We call them secretariat. But then I sometimes wonder, but this is, sometimes we think aloud. I say, isn't there a conventional way in which the secretariat can just remain secretariat? They facilitate the process, they receive the application, they do the vouchers, even the finance. And then do they have to, for example, go to Finland, now go to Canada? Can the members even go, or even people who are policy makers go and even forge partnership? So that is something I'm thinking. Maybe I've not told the chair, but I'm saying let this, so that it's not operated in opaque manner, so that this will avoid a way in which, chair, when the new government comes, then the same people can still hoodwink and blackmail. They can just say, okay, we have the name of the governor, maybe deputy governor, let's go out, or even somebody CCs. Let's go out even before people land the office. I'm not saying anything. By the end of the day, then they cannot look at it from objective, because you're already, there is a maxim in law which says whoever seeks justice should not soil his hands. So when you get in it, deep in it, as even you chair, you have been taken a flight, probably fast car. I normally use economy myself, no problem. But you see, when you are there, when you want to look at it from the lenses, you are looking at it from subjective lenses as opposed to objective lenses. So going forward, I may not sit maybe in this assembly again, because this is a privilege also to sit. But I'm saying, if it is possible, let even people go outside the country. Let it be brought to the county assembly. And then they vet the names. They say these are people who are going. Not every time you get the people who are paid. To me, secretariats and even administrators in the university and even people in this office, they are paid to do their job. So the people to deal with policy are probably the board members and the county assembly members. And they can always say, okay, the chairman went this time, let the vice chair maybe will go and offer something new this time. So let it be structured so that we don't have ad hoc. Because as we even, you prosecute the issue, you may even realize that some people are outside the country, and you don't know. So let periodic report come to the county assembly. My recommendation every time, even this audit report, if Chinua Achebe talked of where did the rain start beating us. So if periodically the report was brought here and the audit report, chair, we would not have all this problem of 2 years, 1 year, there are problems. And I think the last one is about...
For your information, the way you are co-opted, and there is no legal thing showing that, this is not a county program, because it was not given live by the county assembly.
Maybe that, chair, I'm praying that it comes out of your recommendation and deliberation of the board.
Now you're putting it the right way.
Thank you, chair. So one thing I've also observed is this idea of cohort system. Let me call it cohort system. So that let expedite a cohort. If there is a group for, say, August, let that group of August, all of them go, except the person who will not be able to go. Then you start another group. Because from account perspective, there will be a way in which you dig a hole to cover another hole. You use the money of people who are paying now to also cover the whole of those people who paid last year and the money has been so that is why
every cohort be handled differently.
Let these people go, then you start another process. So
point taken.
Otherwise, it will be a big problem. So my other request is that if it is possible, we have those people. Some of us have been talking with some of them in Finland, even Canada. They are our neighbors. We are the ones who encourage them. And let me tell you, Chair, sincerely, some of our neighbors, even the chair and even relatives, they have gone outside the country, but now we are not using the program. We are using our own networks, not necessarily. Like my son went, but through sports scholarship. through sports club. There are so many potential, and I never paid even a penny. There are so many potentials out there which can assist many people. It is only us to think about. Like even the county, just like the county assembly coming up, I saw MCA from Kaptagat. That is an high altitude there. But even county assembly voting some votes, instead of spending a lot of money, have an athletic facility where people finish from 4, they go run. You know, we solicit for athletic scholarship. We have the networks, all of us, most of us. Then children go. We'll really help this county. That has always been my request. We can.
So you have other good ideas.
So that
if the program is run with transparency, it can be taken to another level, whereby even parents cannot be subjected to so much money to help our children. Because the core principle here is to help the children of Wasingishu.
Yeah, I paid 70,000, and that's why I didn't call my area MC and Honorable Julia Sang to come for Arambe, but my son went without him realizing he's my friend.
We need another session with you, Dr. Kisio. That is the direction we would like to take our people. They have an honorable member.
Chair, I had only one because I like what he has said, and I believe if that input you have talked about could have been captured for the last 1 year, we could not be in this mess. Anyway, for the clearance of records, he had mentioned about agents and assembly keep records. Can you give us the name for the person from Finland? Overseas trip? Canada?
Canada is Professor John Agag.
Professor John?
Agag. And he's even willing to go live and air
John
about
Agag. And for Finland?
For Finland, Kiblagat is called Kiblagat. Cornelius Kiblagat.
Are they reachable?
Yeah.
Yes.
Even
Because
if you call them through Zoom now,
who is going to contact us?
Kindly, maybe when you are submitting your affidavit, kindly show us how we can reach them, because our yes.
The secretariat has the mandate.
Oh.
Unless they don't want to be still working in the county. I think the committee is very powerful. By requesting them to give the names of the third party, they'll give including the contact.
Okay. Crossing remark, Dr. Chelule.
I just remembered one thing that
and be brief. Crossing is very brief.
Yes, I confirm that I was actually appointed by the governor as a member of the task force. I don't know the wisdom that informed that. And I progressed with the others. I think I attended 5 meetings. The 6th meeting was when the trustees were invited, and the principal trustee vehemently disputed. In fact, he told the committee that if Chelule is in this task force, the report will not be objective. So I was requested that you step aside, because
the principal trustee has so many power. He wants to know who is to audit him, who is to sit in the task force. Anyway, continue.
So the deputy governor, who is the chair of the task force, requested me to step aside. I did not want to contest, so I stepped aside, and I'm no longer attending the meetings of the task force.
Thank you very much, honorable members. If you give me permission, you know they are academicians, and they live in Wasingishu, away from this. Are you aware of the other lot, apart from those Finland and whatever, crying lot? Are you aware of another lot crying about the first choice recruitment consultant? Because they are our children. Are you aware? Because I can see you have vast knowledge in matters to do with education. Are you aware?
Yes, we are aware. You know, we live in this county.
Yes.
we are parents, we are guardians.
Yes.
Yeah. I also didn't mention that one of the students in TAC doing welding and fabrication, I'm a guardian. So, and we live with people and we hear people crying about this also first choice. Parents are crying and they want answers.
Are you agreeing with Citizen TV that we have a Mwanamke Bomba helping our children? Is the recruitment agency helping or oppressing? What is your take?
Well, somebody is doing her business somewhere. I may not so much go into the details.
Okay. But people are crying.
People are crying. That's a fact. We live with people. We are neighbors with people. We meet with people on daily basis. And people are crying.
Thank you. Honorable members, allow us to bring this session to an end. Thank you, our invitees, Dr. Chelule and Dr. Kisio. You have been an eye-opener to this committee. And though you have been a chair to Dr. Kisio, lakini have him with a session to tell you why did the sixth common sense told him not to surrender the PIN number, which made him not to appear anywhere so kindly, because of your good character. Be very careful. Tomorrow you'll be misused, as we are about to see that because of your good names, you are poised to be trustees. Children of Wazingishu have been heard saying that they went and deposited their money with such agencies like First Choice because they saw their governor, they saw CS Chelugui, they saw a big business magnate by the name DL, and they saw this is a good deal. They invested there. So kindly, tomorrow, let us also be sensitive. That's why we have requested you or advise you to go and swear an affidavit of denouncing whatever you have denounced here on a microphone, because there is a lot. There is a lot. If we want to save this country for the next generation, let us be sensitive. Even to be appointed by a word of mouth, Daktari Chelule, it should not happen. It is not supposed to happen. Going forward, you remind me the Golden Monk scandal, where we were young, but we heard that people were receiving phone calls and acted. Kindly, let us be live to this, because you are a role model to many. Is this the way we would like our country to be managed? That's a question you need to ask all of us. Each one has to ask anything about. Legal advisor, do you have anything to say? For first day, I'm giving you that. Because I don't know whether we have left anything. Therefore, honorable members, I'll ask you, after tea, which is tea come lunch, why don't we come back here for housekeeping so that we leave after agreeing what we are doing tomorrow and the next day? Is that taken? Therefore, this meeting stand adjourned until next sitting. May God bless everyone. Thank you. I'm inviting you for the so-called tea and lunch. Please feel free, because it was meant for us. Thank you. We prolonged because we wanted us go once and for all. Karibuni sana. Kunyweni hata kama mmesimama.